Welcome back to the Fear and Beer podcast.
where we discuss all things Halloween Horror Nights, horror movies, and just a little bit of beer.
So kill the lights, grab a cold one, and join us as we dive into this mad world we love.
I'm Nick.
I'm Seamus.
And I'm Jamie.
Like scary movies.
Uh-huh.
Here's Johnny.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
You miss me.
Aren't you drinking?
I never drink. Why?
And as a reminder to all listening, if you want to help us to continue growing as a podcast, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on whichever streaming platform you use.
To stay up to date with us and all of our episodes, be sure to follow all of our socials. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Fear and Beer Pod.
Feel free to reach out to us. We love to interact with you all.
We are just 3 weeks, that's right, 3 weeks away from our beloved event, Halloween Horror Nights. We are closing in. We are almost there. It's already halfway August 11th. We're pretty much all the way through August at this point. Christ, we're moving right along through this month. Thought it was going to be a little bit more of a drag, but I think with all the announcements dumping out, stuff slowly coming out day by day by day, it's making the time go by a little bit faster. So we are going to be talking about a couple things tonight. We originally were going to be talking kind of strictly about the scare zones, the expectations. Obviously, there's been frequent updates, some stuff coming out into the park, so we can kind of hit on that. But the coverage of the Taste of Terror popped out today, so we got a lot of food items. We got some drink items. So we didn't actually go and experience this, but we saw everyone posting about it. So we are going to be going through some of the items that were found there and sort of our expectations, because it seemingly is high. I've heard nothing but good things so far about all these little tasty, delectable treats we're going to be shoving down our faces once we're 16 beers deep. But let's just jump right in, I guess. That's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So before we get into that, let's get into some beers. I got a funky one. This one is called Hex Marks the Spot. This is from Drecker Brewing Company out of Fargo, North Dakota. I feel like we've had Drecker before, Seamus.
We have, I don't know what specifically, but we've had them before. They're not like a macro. Like they're still a craft brewery, but they're one of like the heavier distributors, so you can get them pretty much everywhere. But we have had them before. They I think they make I forget what the hell it's called, but it's like a Viking. Is it like a Viking on it or something like that? Or maybe that's their brewery logo, but we've definitely had them before. That's for sure.
Yeah, just saying Fargo, North Dakota. I was like, how many breweries do we have access to that are in that location? So this one definitely sparked a little memory. But this is a New England Hazy IPA. This is brewed with a bunch of wheats, bunch of oaks, and it is hopped with just the right amount of Galaxy and Strata. So it's got some dank tropical notes. They say it's got notes of bubblegum, grapefruit, orange, and pineapple. I really wasn't expecting that. But I guess we'll find out what this thing tastes like. Jamie, what are you drinking tonight?
So I am drinking something from Hidden Springs Ale Works over in Tampa, which we all love.
I didn't even know that was it.
I know. I was looking at the side of the can and I was like, Hidden Springs. But Nick picked this up at Half Barrel Project over here. But this is Brondo, the Thirst Mutilator. It's a sports drink sour ale from Hidden Springs. And I'm really interested to see how this is going to be, because it doesn't say that it has any like flavors added to it or any like fruit notes or anything like that. So interested to see if it's going to be more of that ale tasting than a sour, I guess, more like beery, which I'm usually not into, but we'll see.
I'm going to crack mine open. I forgot to get a glass, so I'm going to kind of do my little one sniff through the little...
I got a glass this time.
I'm definitely getting some pineapple right off the nose, so that's interesting, because when I saw it, I was like, okay, this looks pretty... It's an IPA. I wasn't expecting any fruity notes in there, but who knows? Let's jump in and see what this beer tastes like. It's actually refreshing. That's weird. I haven't had many fruity, hazy IPAs. It's very, very interesting.
I'm gonna have to
more
take
of like a session beer.
Gonna have to take a picture of this one to post it. I said I was going to last time too, but this is definitely the sports drink inspired. It's a bright lime green.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So while we jump into these beers, let's kind of go around, I guess, and talk about some of the stuff that's popped up inside the parks, because we started to see some food booths pop up. We have what's going to be seemingly a Surfer Boy Pizza little location. We have a little cabin that seems to be themed after our beloved Yeti. We have a Chucky booth, which is, I think, the same exact booth that they had last year. And then there's this other one that looks very disco-y 70s-ish style stuff there. But I think those are the 4 booths that have been posted up so far. And I'm sure we're going to kind of guess where these different food items are going to be pushed out from once we go into those a little bit later. But there's been a couple other updates. I can't remember what we have hit upon as of last week, but the Jungle Zone has gotten some friends. Seamus, I'm sure you'll hate this. There have been giant spiders added to the Jungle Zone.
Creepy crawlies.
It's okay. They're big
Yeah.
ones don't bother me. It's
They're
the little
noticeable.
tiny ones that.
Yeah, seemingly, I think from the Bugs house. That would be my best bet. But they are up. They have some cobwebs around them. There's some bats. They also put out some new like boxes, some oil cans, some just little decor. And then the one that's gotten probably the most updated is Oddfellows. The scare zone up front has started to seemingly take shape. There's a little like caravan, like a little mobile circus hut, whatever those things are
Stagecoach.
called. Yeah, exactly. Stagecoach. And it's got a little stage out in front of it, and there are some boxes, some luggage trunks, stuff like that. So it does seem like that's going to be the stage where Oddfellow is kind of welcoming you to the park and stuff like that. So that's what we got for updates inside the park. I think there have been some more boxes added to the Shipyard 32 area. There's been some like cages and those weird like futuristic tube box things. I don't really fully understand those ones and what's going to be inside that thing, but I think it's more or less just a big fog machine. So we're here for it. So let's get into the food first. Let's do food, and then we'll kind of hit upon our Scare Zone expectations
Perfect.
to a degree. Taste of Terror. So we mentioned this last week. This is a little food preview. It is priced, or it was priced at $159.99. That has now dropped. It is now $135.99. So they took $20 off the top. And I believe with the discount, it is right around $115. So it's slowly getting into like, okay, I mean, I think it's 2 hours, all you can eat, all you can drink. So it's getting a little bit more reasonable. I think we all agreed that price range was a little too rich. They're probably seeing that on the back end now, that maybe up front, all the people that wanted to get it on like day one, like we talked about, everyone was covering this that went, and that seemed like what it was primarily aimed at was the foodie bloggers, the other bloggers it's for the event. Essentially, we just didn't really feel the need to be there day one, but I would assume that after day one there was a drop off, because it was really like day one, you're the first people to talk about it, and then after day two, it's like, all right, is there general public going to be coming to this? I would seemingly guess not as much as they had anticipated, based on the fact that they dropped the price. So we kind of saw that coming a little bit. So let's get into the food. The first item, and thank you to a bunch of people posted about it, but I'm on the Orlando Informer website because they have it all in an actual blog, so I can just kind of go one by one with this, make it a little bit easier for myself. But this is the Surfer Boy French Hawaiian French bread pizza. It has crispy spam, pineapple, jalapeno, scallions, and mozzarella. There also is a vegan option with a vegan sausage crumble and vegan mozzarella.
Thank God.
I did not notice the spam. I figured it'd be like a Hawaiian
If it
style
was-
pizza.
If it was
but they're-
just spam, it'd be one thing. But
I think
of
that's a
course
fun
they have to go
combo.
and add pineapple to it.
but I mean, this is the pizza that
Franz and I would not like that.
no, not at all. That is the pizza that Argyle, I guess, mentions in the series. That's the ingredients, the jalapenos and the pineapple, and
Mhm.
sounds like something I will probably. I mean, I'm going to try most of these, but interesting combo. I'm curious how the sweet and spice works, but I guess it works in margaritas. You can get like a spicy
Well, I
pineapple
mean,
margarita, but
It's a Hawaiian pizza with spam on it.
yeah.
If you think about it,
Elevate.
that's really
Yeah.
all it is. Instead of ham and Hawaiian, it's
like-
ham and pineapple. It's spam and pineapple.
It's super Hawaiian using the spam. That's like
Mhm.
Ugh.
very salty. Next one I'm pretty excited about is a walking taco. So they're using Fritos chips, and they're going to top it off with taco beef, shredded mozzarella, black bean, queso, pico, shredded lettuce, sour cream, and cilantro. And again, this does have a vegan option as well. It is a vegan chorizo, and then all the other things. So it's coming in little bags, which is nice. Tacos can get messy. That I would still eat them regardless, but an interesting take on it. I'm a big fan of the walking taco trend. I like it with Doritos, but sure, Fritos I guess will work just the same. Well, this one looks pretty. These next two are interesting. This one is the Left Behind ravioli. This is seemingly, I don't know if they're going to serve it like this at the event, but
I don't think so. That's what I was
in
wondering too.
in the picture, it's served in a Fedra food ration can, and it's got like little mushroomy things sticking out of it. But this is a mini cheese ravioli with marinara, truffle cream, and tempura fried gnocchi mushrooms. So
Yum.
interesting. It looks really cool. I hope it gets served in the. I wouldn't.
I don't know. I mean, you never know.
Maybe
I mean,
it
could be
does.
It could be a, what do you call it? Like a I mean,
Collectors.
yeah, like a collector's edition or something like that.
Maybe
or
you could,
a,
like,
a
buy it
collector's
separately.
Can yeah. I don't know if it would be like every single one comes in it, but I'm sure if it's like it's done up to look like something from The Last of Us, I don't see why they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. I do like that they are just heavy. I mean, we're definitely getting spoiled, right? These last couple of years, we've seen a huge upgrade in food and theming, and this is it's hitting everything we would want at this point. And it's fun to see each year how we're going to adapt whatever IPs and like turn food from them as well. So this one, boy, oh boy, this is going to do severe damage. This is the peanut bluter burger.
Ugh.
It already sounds bad.
It is a smash burger with peanut butter sauce, raspberry jelly,
Ugh.
cheddar cheese,
Rancid.
shaved onions, jalapeno, bacon,
Oh my
and
God,
cherry peppers on a vampire bun.
Oh, you're trying.
Oh
is-
my God!
it is
Could
a
be worse than the
red-
Chucky one.
It is a red burger bun,
Ugh.
and it's got like black char on the top of it.
It's like when
This
Burger King
thing-
did the Spider-Man burger.
Oh,
You're asking for
God!
You're gonna have insomnia. Like you
I
ain't eating
hope-
that shit.
I hope everybody is best friends with a plumber, because
Oh
you're
my
going to have to
God.
call them at
It's gonna
7
be so bad.
a.m. the morning
Immediately.
after to flush your pipes, because this thing is going to
It's gonna
do
flush your pipes.
damage. This is woohoo!
It's like putting Drano down your sink. Just
I should
eats
do a
the pipes.
contest one night and see how many of these I can eat.
No,
no.
no, I have to step in.
No.
I'm gonna throw the yellow flag on that one.
Can I get 5 of these burgers down before severely destroying my insides?
Oh
You'd be
God!
Violently
So we're
ill.
starting a donation page for Nick's
To buy new
bypass
pants.
surgery when he does this.
All right. Well, this one, I think Seamus is going to be really in on. This is a burnt ends poutine.
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah, buddy.
So your burnt ends are back to an extent. Crispy fries topped with beefless burnt ends gravy, vegan cheese, and scallions.
Oh my god, it sounds amazing. Poutine is already amazing, but like adding burnt ends to it.
It's
yeah.
vegan.
Yeah, this one's vegan. There's another option too.
Mhm.
Well, hold on a minute. Burnt ends. How is it vegan if there's burnt ends in it?
Oh, they do it up.
Oh,
Seamus.
beefless.
Oh,
burnt
yeah.
ends.
beefless burnt
Yeah.
ends.
But still,
Ooh, I'd give it a
I'm
shot.
still interested. Yeah,
I'd give it a shot.
You know, I'll be trying it. So
I'd
for
probably
all
get
the-
it without the vegan cheese. I feel like vegan cheese is just hard. It's hard to replicate cheese. Like burnt ends, like
It
I've
is.
never
You can
really
get some-
tried it, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I mean, I have had like vegan meats before, well, vegan meats, quote unquote, before, and they do generally do a pretty good job, and you wouldn't even know a difference. So
Yeah.
I'm willing to try it.
Yeah,
I like
the
the
cheese the
optimism.
vegan cheese is what usually does it for me. So the next one is also a poutine. This is a bloody campground poutine. So crispy, fried, topped with Asian-inspired gravy. It is roasted pork, cheese curds, scallions, and crispy fries. So that's kind of the
Yup.
non-vegan version.
Yeah, that's the Seamus version
yeah.
right there.
Assuming both of these are coming from that Yeti-inspired food booth that's
So
I think it's towards the front, maybe.
We've discovered the meal item that I'll be eating every night I go.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Alrighty then.
The next one also comes in a cool little serving thing. Again, we obviously can't confirm that this is what it will be served in until the event actually gets going, but this is fried till the end chicken. This is probably what's going to do me in. Fried popcorn chicken tossed in Nashville hot sauce.
Oh god.
Drizzled with ranch and topped with scallions and chili threads. And it's served in like a little popcorn bucket, like a little retro movie theater popcorn.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's got me written all over.
That'll be
Nashville
a one, at least a try once type deal.
Their Nashville hot is so hot for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I found that out the hard way.
When you had the Nashville hot mac and cheese.
Yeah,
by Richter's.
no,
Oh my
not
god.
great. Not
The
a great
sauce was
idea on my
fiery.
part.
And I just took like a
Yeah.
little taste of the sauce.
I think it burnt off like all the surrounding hair around my mouth as it was going in.
Singed it off.
It's like you take a bite and your just eyes start to instantly water. It's like, oh, what am I doing? I'm punishing myself for no reason. But
So
then
if
you
they
have to
use
keep
the-
eating it.
Right. So if they use the same recipe, you're fair warned. It's very spicy.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, and I'm sure I'll still get it. And then I'll eat like 3 bites, and be like, oh, why the fuck did I do this to myself? So now we're sort of into the treats, I guess. A little dessert. So there's a Hellfire mini cake, which looks really cool. It looks. We'll go into it first. So it is a layered chocolate cake with mango cayenne filling and topped with a chocolate guitar.
Oh, that sounds good.
So it's like looks like a little clear plastic glass. It's got the Hellfire Club logo sticker on front of it. It is layered. It is like black and red layered cake. It's got a little chocolate guitar at the top, and it looks like the maybe icing to look like little fire. Pretty cool. Pretty interested to see that one.
Mhm.
We have the pumpkin de leche puff. It is a filled puff topped with a whipped ganache, pumpkin seeds, and gold accents. That's pretty cool. That's up my alley right there for sweets. It looks like it's small too, so a quick little 3-biter. That'll kind of hit the sweet spot for you.
Mhm.
There is a bloody snowball. It is a chocolate cake with marshmallow buttercream and obviously coconut, but it's got a little red like tint to it to give it that little bloody snowball. But I mean, I get it. I get the snowball thing, but I'm just trying to think of any tie-in for snow.
Maybe when they were in Russia in Stranger Things? I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, could be, I guess.
But snowball, are you talking like coconut snowballs or
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
different?
Yeah.
When are you bringing back my pumpkin donuts though? Like what the hell?
Yeah.
Universal? Come on
Those were
now.
good.
I don't think those were good. They're definitely elevating. Next up is a trick or treat bucket. Is a chocolate chip creme brulee topped with peanut butter, buttercream,
Oh god.
caramel popcorn, candy corn, M&M's, Reese's
Oh,
Pieces,
let's go.
and
Yep.
licorice strip. Looks pretty tasty.
You could have the
This is
licorice
how-
strip.
See, everyone talks about like, the holidays, like Christmas and Thanksgiving being the time where you put on a bunch of pounds, no, it's the 2 months of HHN that makes Seamus gain 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm. And then right into Thanksgiving and right into Christmas. And
that's why
then I'm fucked for springtime.
Yeah. What do they call it?
and
Like summer bod? Yeah, I don't have one of those.
Yeah, non-existent.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
And the last little food item that I could find is the Oreo Mummy Pop. It is a Oreo cheesecake pop with little candy eyes. It is what you think it is. It's like a little cake pop, essentially, with that looks like a mummy. So that's what they got for the food. I don't think... Yeah, that's pretty much all I could find for food. Now, I think this is just a semi-preview. I don't think that this is everything. I think that there's probably going to be some more items that we don't have on there that we will see. But what do we think about the food options so far?
I'm actually pretty excited.
I'm excited. I mean, I was excited last year, but I think that they're getting better every year with offering
Variety.
different different themed varieties. It's not like the same shit everywhere, which is nice. So they definitely have hit on something. I just hope that maybe they add some additional things that we haven't seen yet, because it doesn't seem like it's as big a menu as it was last year.
They haven't announced any like the Chucky food either, which they
so I have a feeling that they've probably only seen so many things. You probably haven't seen the entire menu yet, and I would assume that this like pre-event thing is only going to give them so many things. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm excited. I wish they would give us just like a normal burger, not covering it in fucking like hot sauce and peppers and jelly and shit. But it's fine.
Peanut butter and jalapeno.
I mean, seriously, it's like I'm not asking for like a basic cheeseburger, but like give me something a little less like anal destroying.
Can I get that burger with nothing on it except cheese? You have cheese? Got it. Perfect. They also had some drinks out there, so we'll kind of go through this one by one. No real order. There is a really cool one. It's their exclusive partnership. It is partnered with Claffy's Cocktails. Never heard of them, but it's called Orange Death. Comes in a can, and it is a combination of vodka, orange, and cranberry. So it's like a mixed cocktail that's already batched in
It's like
cans.
a screwdriver.
Yeah,
right? Something like that.
Yeah, screwdriver's orange and vodka. I forget what that is. Either like a Bay Breeze or something like that. But yeah, looks pretty cool. The logo is a eyeball in a martini glass. The eyeball serving as the olive. So
And
it's
this
cool
is
that they
like-
have like a partnership.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it's a partnership with like a drink brand or something.
Yeah, Claffy's Cocktails. I've never
Oh.
heard of them, but they're probably like a
Well,
batched
I mean,
can thing.
maybe they're gonna have that, and maybe a couple other specific cocktails to serve at like the club dancey thing that they're planning, or having like some more specific drinks than
That's
just
what I was
like
thinking.
instead of just like having like here's your pumpkin beer, here's this beer, here's that beer, but we're gonna have some actual like some specified cocktails or prepared cocktails specifically for the event. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because I feel like the last couple of years, like the mixed drinks have kind of been like existing drinks, but not really like specific to the event. So maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. Again, I think this is just a preview. I think we'll get a lot more. The vending canned beverages. We are getting the Lacto Cooler back from Voodoo Brewing.
Of course we are.
Did you not like that one?
No, it's not. Well, I mean, it wasn't my favorite. I mean, it wasn't bad, but like if I'm gonna pay like $11-12 for, I don't know how much it was. It wasn't like
Probably
11,
around
12
there
bucks for a craft drink. I'd rather something different, but
Yeah.
I get why they have it. I mean, it's specifically like designed
Themed for this perfectly.
themed for the event. So I get why they do it, and and nothing wrong with it. I just can't. I mean, I can't drink a million of them. Like I might have one,
Yeah.
and that's it.
I enjoy them, but I can't have multiples. Like I can't have 3 or 4 of these things. I will usually have one to either kickstart or end the night. I really don't throw them in between, but they're good. I do enjoy it. I think it's fun. I'm glad they're bringing it back, but it's for me a limited style drink. They are also going to have Trulies. Now this one's new. This is a Kraken Black Spiced Rum and Coke. So it's
Ooh,
a canned up rum and Coke from Kraken, which is pretty
Ugh.
cool. I'll probably
very nice.
that sounds pretty good. I like my rum and Coke, so convenient that it's in a can, which is nice. Just don't get caught having to chug too many of those before you go into the house.
Right.
They put Miller Lite on here. I don't know why it's such a
I don't
basic
know
beer,
either.
but sure. And then they have Original Sin coming back, but this is a different
Woo!
one. This is Crimson Chaos Cider, but it is New York apples, and it has a chaotic blend of berries and cherries. So another fruity cider style
Excited for
drink
that
from
one.
Original Sin. Yeah, that one looks cool. Interesting. I know you like Original Sin.
Yeah, they have really good stuff. I haven't tried this one specifically though, so
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going through all my pictures to find which ones are back. They have a new punch style drink. It's called Surfer Boy Tropical Dream Punch. It's Cruzan rum, orange juice, pineapple juice, lime, passion fruit, and grapefruit juice with vanilla bean.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know how I feel about
I'm
the
never a big
vanilla.
cocktail guy. I'll usually try like something once, but I'm not often going back for the cocktails. When they're batched at such a level that they are, and they need to be, I totally get it. But I'm not a huge I'd rather just grab my beer. That's kind of my thing. They're bringing Ghoul Juice back. I believe this was there last year. It's Myers Dark Rum, Cherry Brandy, Simple Syrup, Mango Nectar, Lime Juice, Dale DeGroff's Pimento Bitters, and another bitters. I can't read that company's name. I'm not even going to try, but it's another form of bitters. Yeah, I'm not a big brandy guy, so
No.
yeah, I think we tried the Ghoul Juice a little bit last year. Wasn't really my thing.
Yeah, I won't. The thing is, I don't drink enough mixed drinks to buy them. Like, if someone gets one and I take a sip of it, that's one thing. But I don't want to buy a drink and then and then not drink it. So
Yeah, no,
I usually
I'm
just
a
kind
straw
of stick to
sampler.
my beer like you do.
I usually try them
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah, I'll have a little sip, and then that's kind of enough for me.
Mhm.
Electric Death, I believe this was there last year as well. It's New Amsterdam gin, blue curacao, lime juice, vanilla bean, simple syrup, pineapple juice, and the bitters as well. Again, another kind of big batch style drink.
Yeah.
This one's interesting. It's called Salt Lake City Coffee. So this is going to be, I think, Last of Us themed. But it's coffee, espresso liquor, Cruzan rum, vanilla bean. They put the vanilla bean in everything.
Yeah, that's weird.
Smoked sea salt and smoked bitters.
Huh.
So
It's like
that's
smoked-
a good
yeah,
a good
ugh.
midnight drink. Get you
I was
through
gonna say,
the
that's like a power through the last couple of hours drink.
yeah. That's where I will be going for a lot of that towards the end of the night. But that's all I could find for the drinks. Seems like the familiar ones are back, and we're getting a couple new spins on things. So interesting. I don't think again. They're not going to run this event without a pumpkin or a fall themed beer. They're not going to have no IPAs. I know there was some concerns about that. Someone was talking about that on our Twitter, and I was like, I can't see them doing this event.
No,
like,
they'll have a
without
yam
pumpkin
beer.
Yeah, and I feel like they always do the Voodoo Ranger IPA, nice and
Yep.
kind of in the middle, not super crazy hoppy, but it's a good like consumer IPA, I guess. It's the best way to define that. But yeah, that's what we got for drinks. So not as much as the food, obviously. Interested. I mean, if they keep dropping this thing's price, then maybe I'll go check it out one day. But
I know it does look
Yeah.
kind of cool.
I mean, I'm not gonna rush there for anything more than like $85 maybe. It's just
You
not
still
something
get
I
our
need
discount
to
on
do.
top of it though too.
Yeah, so with the discount, I think it's $115 right
It's
now,
not terrible.
which isn't terrible. But again, I'm going to be eating a lot of these in 3 weeks. So yeah, I need to rush out and go sample a bunch of this stuff? Probably not, because I'm going to buy it anyways at the event regardless. So even if I went to this thing, I'd probably still buy the other stuff. I just realized too what I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss that popcorn custard from last year. I love that.
You loved that weird little
I
thing.
loved it. I loved it.
I forgot
Just
about
eating-
that.
Yeah, I remembered it when I was talking about like the little desserts, but I'm gonna miss that thing. That was like just my go-to finish the night. I remember I
hot
was,
dog.
oh yeah, I felt like such a raccoon because I remember like 3 times I think I was just kind of by myself on some nights, and on like 3 different occasions, I'm just like shoving my face like in the corner, like above a trash can, and then somebody I know runs into me. I'm like, oh God, don't eat, don't look at me. I'm
Don't
in my
look at
shame
me.
corner. I'm eating my fucking custard. Just like a goddamn raccoon over the trash, just like trying to discard it as soon as I'm done with it. Just nobody look at me. Nobody look at me. So yeah, so that's our food and drink. Thanks to everybody that went and posted all that stuff, because that was a nice little insight as to some of the stuff that we're going to be getting. Well, let's get into the scare zones a little bit. We kind of briefly touched on these to an extent last week, or when we had our big announcement day. But let's kind of go into these and what we sort of expect from them. We don't have to do rankings or anything like that, but just a simple expectation, I guess. So let's just kick it off at the front with Dr. Oddfellow's Collection of Horror. So we got that little coach wagon or stage wagon or whatever you called it earlier, Jamie. Stagecoach. Yeah, it's that's the thing. I really don't think there's much expectation. I feel like this zone. I feel like the last good zone up there was Anarcade. I feel like everything since then has been such a, and they referred to it as such on the Discovery Universe podcast, as a table of contents, which it truly has been. And even with Anarcade, it was to an extent, but it felt like its own zone. And I do just get bummed out when they like, it does feel like 4 zones plus this one with bits and pieces from all the other zones. So I'm hoping that a speaking role of Dr. Oddfellow is enough to make it stand out a little bit more. But when it becomes just like last year, it's like, oh, here's a witch from Sweets, and here's the little cat girl from Sweets, and then here's people from Conjure the Dark, and here's some people from Graveyard. It was just like, I don't even need to go through it. I mean, the other scare zones are great. Just give me, I feel greedy, but give me an actual 5th scare zone versus this just introduction to what you're going to see. I don't know. What do you guys expect from this one? Or do you have different thoughts than that? Or what are we going for?
No, I think you're right. I think it's just going to be a combination of like the entire event for the most part. Maybe hide some of like the, how they're going to hide him in like plain sight at each of the other scare zones. Maybe like put something in there that kind of doesn't give it away, but like things to look for. I'm not even sure you're going to get a speaking role. I think he'll be walking around. You'll have different versions of him walking around. But I don't know. That whole area is just so hard to make it work for, as a scare zone. It's more of like a welcome zone more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a
No, I agree.
gets you kind of amped up, lasers, the fog, the lights, the music, just to get you kind of like in the mood, and then you're kind of off and running at that point. But I don't think we're gonna get anything crazy, but I would think that probably just gonna see most of the references to the other scare zones.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not going to be like that. I hope it's a little different and maybe just like characters based from his like timeline and stuff like that. But I feel like it is kind of hard to make that section as immersive with all the minion stuff right there, and they don't really put up as many like. It's kind of like walled in, but not in the sense of how they could do in the scare zones with different props and stuff. I mean, last year, and they have the overhang scaffolding and stuff like that, but I'm only intrigued for the fact that I don't really know what to expect from it. So I'm kind of hoping that I'll like it, but I do feel like that scare zone area usually kind of just gets all the remnants of the other one. So kind of on the same page as you guys.
Yeah. So I guess we'll take a little right turn and we'll go to Dark Zodiac. Now this one, like it's going to be tough because I have those expectations in my head of all the pictures from the Singapore one. Obviously I didn't get to go experience that, but just from looking at the pictures of it, I have this expectation. They put this weird spin on it. Like Dr. Oddfellow has the dark dimension powers of the Zodiac and whatever. But are you expecting, I guess, we can kind of compare the two previous zones that were in that location, where we had Graveyard, which felt like such a old school scare zone, where it was people walking around, there were scares, there was a lot of set pieces, there was a lot of different characters. And then the one before that was Lights, Camera, Action, where it was very stage oriented. Now we've seen some staging go up with various zodiac signs, almost like very metally, looks like metal fab work. So I'm curious, where do you think this is going to kind of blend the two? Are we going to stick with the way that it worked so well last year in Graveyard, where they're just kind of walking around? If they do these costumes as big as and elaborate as I feel like it's going to be like the character in Graveyard that was on the stage. Like you couldn't have him walking through because it's just too big and too bulky. But what are thoughts on Dark Zodiac and how this is going to translate into a zone?
I think it's going to be a combination of both.
I do too. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, I think you're going to have some like staging areas where, you know, the main beasts or bad guys, whatever you want to call them, are going to kind of have their like each their own little area, and then kind of mixing in a street level with the guests will be like minions, like they just, you know, whatever they end up looking like, but like little Oddfellow minions or something like that. But I think the main creatures will have their own each individual stage. It'll probably be it'll work better than Crypt TV did. It won't feel as like just haphazardly placed, but I think you're gonna kind of have that where you'll have the big set pieces, but then miniature minions or no face or you know what I'm saying, like the putties from Power Rangers, like
Oh yeah,
that type of deal, like roaming around trying to
the
scare you.
nameless henchmen. I'm curious what the other characters are going to be in this, because it's not going to be. I can't imagine it's going to be only big Zodiac creatures. I feel like there's got to be some victims.
I mean, there's
So-
12 Zodiacs too, so that's I was thinking it was gonna be very like character heavy if they're gonna incorporate all of them, all 12 of them.
Yeah, and I'm curious if they'll have all 12 out constantly, or if they'll be like 6 and 6.
Maybe that's true. They could rotate.
Because they'll definitely obviously have like cast A, cast B, but you know, I feel like the big elaborate ones will be split up. So it's like, oh, you got to come back, come check the zone out, see if your zone's out now, your sign or whatever's out now.
That'd be
But
cool.
I feel like there's got to be victims, because even in like suites, you have all the children, the little crazed children, then you have the victims, and then you have the hero of the zone, Major Sweets himself, and I forget Mrs. Sweets. But you have a degree, so it's not just like one character. Even in Conjure the Dark, you know, you had all the demons and goblins and witches, and then you also had the victim. Well, albeit just one, but it's a varying degree, so it gives you a little sense of story. So I feel like it's got to have that as well. But I feel like the only victims would be just normal people that they're sucking their zodiac power out or whatever, however they get their energy.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping a lot of like, I picture this one very spacey, like very like purple lights, like starry strobes, like just the lighting in this zone is, I think, going to be the make or break for sure.
And see, I'm thinking like deep reds, deep purples, like stuff like that, like darker stuff.
Yeah,
But-
the royal colors. I could, yeah, I mean, yeah, purple, I think will be a prominent one in this one, but I picture it like very trippy, like mystical, I guess. But let's move along now to Jungle of Doom Expedition Horror. Now this one keeps getting more and more stuff added to it. There's there's like a plain tail hanging out there now. They got vines hanging from all the string lighting that they got in there. They got bats, like giant bats hanging. They got the spiders. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like, Jamie, this is going to be your zone. So what are your expectations on this one then?
The more and more, when we went to the park the other day, we only stayed for a couple hours because it was blazing hot out, but it was fun looking at everything. That was our first time getting to look at it all. But I'm more and more getting excited for this scare zone, just seeing the different set pieces they're putting up and stuff like that. And I really love that they're more focusing. I think they're going to be more focusing on like the creatures and like the animals and stuff like that, because I was really excited to see the bats and seeing the spider now. And you'd mentioned before earlier that it looked like the spider from Bugs, and I was looking back in my pictures, and I think I took a picture with it in that house when we did the Unmasking the Horror tour. So I really like when they do little Easter eggs like that with from different houses in past years and stuff. But really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be really cool. Like we've said before, the setting is perfect for it. That Central Park area is just such a good scare zone area, and I feel like I always really like the ones that they have there.
Yeah. Are there concerns with either of you of the, I guess, reception of the last couple scare zones that have been there? Because it just gets crowded, and we've talked about it many times, and I'm sure we'll always talk about it, but the setting of this is by far the best area for a scare zone. But I feel like it also is the easiest one to just kind of wrongfully place items, so that way it doesn't make the experience as fun as it possibly could be. Because it does feel like a house in sometimes, because it's like, all right, keep moving. Right side goes this way, left side goes this way. Keep going. It's not a linger. It's not, New York City where you kind of just post up on a bench or just kind of walk around and you have space. It's like you walk through one way, and then if you want to walk through again, you have to turn around and go back through it the other way. There's no stopping in this thing.
Yeah,
That's
it is
true.
very, very enclosed. And I think, to be honest with you, at least last year, there's too much fog. Like, it's good to have fog, but I feel like it's almost too much, and it's hard to really see anything as it is, especially on if it rained that night and the air is like pretty heavy, it sits in there, and it just like it's hard to see things on the sides because that's where everything is. It's along the sides of the scare zone. So the fog kind of masks a lot of it. So it can kind of ruin the experience just a little bit. But yeah, I think that it's just the nature of being enclosed the way it is. You're kind of forced to just keep moving. You really can't stop. Plus, it's hard to see too. It can get pretty dark in that scare zone. It's hard to like focus on like what's going on.
I feel like it's probably the only scare zone that I actually get scared in, though, and I think it is because of the more thicker fog and the darkness of it, which I like, though, too. But it is kind of unfortunate with how busy it has been these last couple of years, and it's easier, I guess, for people like us who go often enough to where we've seen it at less peak times when we go for Stay and Scream and stuff like that, so we get to see all the detail in it, which is really nice. But I have a feeling it'll be like that again this year, too, which is kind of crappy just because more and more people obviously are getting into it, which is great, but gonna bring in more crowds too. I just wish there was a better, I've mentioned it in another episode before, there's like a side gate in Central Park that kind of like loops around. I wish they would utilize that somehow and kind of take it out a different entrance just so there was like more space for people just like walking through and not kind of really checking it out. But you can't have everything, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited. I think those concerns are all valid. I have the same ones. And it is like, you obviously like, oh, I want the darkness, I want the fog, but like,
right,
I want to see the set pieces.
exactly.
I want to see
Right.
the characters
Yeah.
as well.
Which
I
not
want to
everyone gets the
actually feel
opportunity
it.
to see.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's
random.
Scarecrow got really dark sometimes.
Yeah, like there were moments, like I've said before, like there were moments where the fog was just right. The light coming from behind the fence worked just well enough that it looked eerie, and it looked like almost like there was a strange light kind of coming through. It looked beautiful in some moments, but then in other moments it was so obscured by the level of fog and the darkness that it was like you really have no idea what's going on. And it's like, yeah, you can scare me in that situation because you're just a random masked person jumping in front of me out from nowhere, and that's fine. But I can't, like, I think like Nick said, I can't appreciate the artistry that went into it if I can't see what you built or see what you put in there. So I think it's part of, like, I'm kind of like, for me, it's a balance that they have to meet, and it's hard to meet that balance because, one, I'm constantly looking for where the scares are going to come from. I can't just like shut my brain off and just let it happen. So it's tough. Like, you want to stop me from being able to pinpoint everywhere they're going to like have people hiding, but at the same time, I want to be able to see, what's going on. So that, I think that whole area can be hit or miss depending on, on what's in there.
Yeah, and there's a couple times last year where I'm like walking with my hand out just because I can't see anything.
I
Right.
love
I'm
it.
like, I'm not trying to touch I'm not trying to touch this character, but I'm just trying to not run into people and stuff too. So just, just keep your distance, I guess. I can't just keep pushing forward. Um, so let's keep walking. We're gonna wrap all the way around to San Francisco now. So we are Shipyard 32 Horrors Unhinged. So we're starting to see more set pieces. We're starting to kind of get an idea of what this zone is going to be. And I get a little nervous about this one. I like this setting. The setting always works well for something nautical, something pier related, and a shipyard fits that as well. So I like that. But I'm just concerned that it's going to be a little hodgepodge best of random characters without like a story other than the fact that Dr. Oddfellow was shipping creatures somewhere and they broke out of their cargo. That's really all I have for the storyline. Now, Scare Zones don't need a giant in-depth story, but it's nice when there is one. I really enjoyed Conjure the Dark last year where there was like a stage show and it kind of broke it up a little bit. I don't see how anything show oriented could be added to this zone. Maybe they will, maybe they'll surprise me, but I don't know what it would be at this point. So based kind of, I guess, on the vagueness and basically the story of just having it being mysterious crates and cages, and it has Dr. Oddfellow's creations, I guess. Where is this landing for you in anticipation on these zones?
Probably my lowest spot. Other than the entrance, the Dr. Oddfellow's one, depending on that one's going to be.
Yeah, I see a very big comparison between those two because they're seemingly best ofs.
Don't
right?
really
It's
have
just
much to
random
go off of
characters.
either.
Yeah, I'm definitely very curious about this zone. I can't judge it until we go through it and see what it's actually all about. But just from what the information we have now and the set pieces, like it's boxes, and that's kind of what we're working with. So
Yeah.
I'm
It is hard
hoping.
to tell.
Yeah, it's really hard to gauge. I don't think it's fair to say that this one's gonna suck.
Like those
And
the big blue boxes that you were talking about before, I feel like they reminded me of like something that would have been in a Hellblock. That's why I was like, that's kind of weird. I was like, I don't really know how that goes in, but who knows?
yeah, it definitely, and it's got like the cages as well, where there's
Yeah.
gonna be a character inside, and so it's like banging cages where you slam. They're loose enough that you can move, so it's gonna make a big banging sound or a noise. So it does feel very Hellblock horror-y,
It does.
which is concerning because like I'm sure you got plenty of other great ideas. I don't know if they went this route because they could tie it to Oddfellow easily, or if they just really had a really good plan and then this is it and we just haven't seen what it's going to turn into yet.
I kind of like not knowing though too what we're going to be looking into or getting into, so that's always kind of a nice aspect of it, I guess. Being surprised. I usually like spoiling things. I always look at sneak peeks and stuff. I never mind spoilers, but it'll be fun to see something that not really have any I don't want to say anticipation for, but just don't really know what's gonna be in it.
It's definitely piqued my interest. I'm very intrigued by it, but I'm not like, oh yes, I can't wait for the shipyard. The boxes are so cool.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I really have no idea what to expect. So I kind of want to go into this one blind and not look at anything. So I don't really have an opinion as to whether or not I think that it will be, a success or not. But this area tends to work pretty well for a scare zone. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of hoping that maybe they have some sort of show element to it, but I don't know.
A little behind the scenes, I guess. Seamus, you don't really use like our Twitter or Instagram that much, but have you seen any pictures of like Scare Zone updates at all? Yeah,
I haven't. Okay. I've been kind of like avoiding it.
Yeah, because like I feel like we're all three different degrees of it. Like I'll kind of be like, you don't want to see anything. I'm okay with seeing the pictures, and we went to the park on Sunday, but I'm not like I need to go see these things. I've seen pictures. It's fine. It's whatever, and that's kind of part of the gig right now. Like I gotta look at everything. But I have no need to run over and really inspect everything because I do like that little bit of surprise. And then Jamie's like just, the 5-year-old that's shaking every single goddamn Christmas box trying to guess what's in it.
Peeking around, snooping.
Yeah. All right. So let's work our way up. We are on our final scare zone now, and that is Vamp 69,
Yeah.
Summer of Blood. So we got
Nice.
the big old hippie bus out. We got some little tent-like structures that look like they could be like merch tables or like little rest stations. You have the big stage set up. You got some instruments and rugs and all kinds of stuff making its way out into this zone. This has a lot to live up to. It's got the theme. It's got the history of 2 scare zones behind it that are well received. It's a fan favorite amongst the entire community. So this is a very such a tricky thing, right? It's like when you put out the newest trilogy of Star Wars, where it's like, is it gonna live up to the expectations? We'll see. So what do you think about that? Or do you think this is something that will live up to, pass, or like exceed expectations, or is it going to underperform a little bit, you think?
I think it's going to
I
exceed
think-
my expectations.
Yeah, I think you have to if you look at it in that way, I don't think it's going to meet what you're expecting. I think that if you look at them in very different ways and say, Vamp 55 was this, Vamp 85 was this, and now Vamp 69 is going to be this. I think that if you look at it, take them for each of like their own, and not try to be like, well, is this one going to be as good or better than the others? Because if at the end of the day, it's just you're taking an era in time and saying now there's vampires, so it's really hard to like say one will be better than the other. So I don't know. I don't have anything to look back on though, so I haven't done either one of the other two, so I don't really know what to compare it to. So for me, it's going to be hard to just look past the fact that it's Woodstock with vampires, but I'm sure they'll do a good job with it. I don't think that it's going to be bad by any sense, but by any stretch. But it's I really can't tell you whether I think that it's going to be better than 85 or not as good as 85. I'd probably prefer 85 just because I like that era in time. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this one's it's such a like weird zones. Like it's people I don't think anybody is really like, oh, I love vampires. It's like, oh, I love these eras. Like I love the theming of the fact that they're vampires is just such a non-factor.
I love that fact.
Really? Okay.
I
maybe
love
I'm
vampires.
wrong. I know, but like would any of these zones be different if it was like Mummy 69,
100%.
Mummy 85, and it was like mummies
or
as
zombies
that era?
or zombies?
Right.
I wouldn't like it as much, but that's because I've always been a fan of Dracula. I like vampires, but if it was something else, if it was Zombie 69 or Zombie 85, something like that, not a huge fan of that. I would like the eras, but not that type of character in it. I feel like
I think if they go the route of taking like popular songs from the 60s, and rather than just like having a bunch of vampires exist while covers of 60s songs are being played, if it was like, hey, we're gonna take the songs and then kind of re-theme them and parody them a little bit and make it more like vampire-esque. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any examples, but like if you were to sing like a Beatles song, but rather than sing about what they're actually singing, sing about vampires in some way, that would be better. It would tie it in a little bit more, tie the theme together a little bit better. But I don't have anything to compare it to, so I don't want to say that I'm going to go into this and go, man, I wish they did this or did that. I think I'm going to enjoy it no matter what, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think they'll do like a blend probably. I think they'll license as many popular songs as they can and then kind of make do with whatever other ones you can do. So yeah, those are our scare zones. Yeah, I don't have any other thoughts really on the scare zones themselves. I'm excited. I feel like I'm very curious this year. I feel like we're at that point where it's like, all right, we got the names, we got the theme. Now it's just at the point where I got to wait till opening night and see what they exactly are.
Which is exciting though too, going into it blind, because I feel like we kind of usually have a gist of what it's going to be.
Yeah, we can usually pick up a decent little theme and kind of go from there.
There was one thing I wanted to mention though that I really hope for Vamp. I hope they do it. If not, it's going to be a big missed opportunity. But if they're doing the whole Woodstock like festival theme, which I think might be the merch booth tents and stuff, they should use one of them for like a hydration station like they do at festivals and have it with blood bags and vampires selling the blood bags. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
There's a lot of things they could do, I feel like.
there's a lot of different things that could come out of this.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't announced like a blood bag drink, like a
Well,
adult.
they used to.
They need to
like
bring
an
them back.
adult-
That's why I'm saying I hope they bring it as like a little like ode to it too. It would be really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into our call-ins. We had a couple call-ins this week. So again, if you do want to call in, the phone number is 689-244-0956. And let's get into this. Let's see if I'm a little bit better at how to hit the play button on these things this time. Probably not, but we're going to work our way through.
We're still pretty low res, so.
Nope, I'm still pretty bad at figuring out how to get these things to my speaker. All right, here we go. Here we go. You know what? Give me a second. They make this like app so incredibly hard to switch from speaker to phone to play. And like every time I go to switch to one, it goes to the other. I'm gonna switch off my Bluetooth because that's what's missing with a lot of it.
The anticipation is killing me.
Hello, Matt from Cleveland. I heard that part.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
There you go.
Love the podcast. Phenomenal. My question is, I've been going since 2010, and when you compare it to today's standards, it's expanded. So realistically, 10 years from now, where do you see the event?
That's a great question.
It's a good question.
One park, or staying where it's at? More houses? What do you think? And also 3 thumbs down for Dueling Dragons.
Yeah. Yes.
I told you you'd enjoy this one, Seamus.
Yes. Yes. They're people. See, my people are out there.
I'm not the only one.
Let my people go.
So, great question. So let's kind of view it
It's a
as
wonderful question. It's a very hard question to
too.
answer too, but
I guess
we
we'll
have
jump
kinda-
to like our next anniversary of HHN. Well, not next anniversary, but HHN 40. Like, what do we think it's going to look like?
So we've talked about some of this stuff in the past, I think. We're at what, 32?
Mm-hmm.
So 40 would be 8 years from now, which means I will be 43. That's disgusting. But
And it will be
so I think
$3,000 for an
I don't think they're going to expand that considerably in the next decade. I know people, they obviously want more houses, and I think they might grow a little bit. But the question becomes, how much space do they have to expand, and do they have to open up the second park? Now, I wouldn't be surprised come 2025 when the new park opens, they say, all right, well, now that the new park is open, we can shut down both of the original parks early for Horror Nights and maybe do, half and half, do half the houses in one side and half the houses in the other, and expand by 3 or 4 houses. Oh, it has to be even. So maybe say we'll just even number, say they expand by 4 houses, giving us what, 14, 7 and 7. I could see that happening. But we've had this discussion before where it's like, they do that, but then they have to hire more people. They have to they have to make sure they have enough coverage to cover all of those houses. And judging by last year, was it last year or the year before? I know that with COVID, it's hard, but it was harder to find staff. But I felt like last year there were times in the houses where you could tell that it was a low staff night. And it felt that way. And that was just with the traditional 10 houses. So I worry that even 5 to 8 years down the line, when we're kind of, hiring numbers should be fine, this, that, and the other thing. But did they have the ability to staff an event that's grown considerably. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how different you feel about that. I definitely see an expansion coming, but I don't know if it just stays in one park or they eventually open up both of the or your Universal and Islands for the event. Which if they do that, then you have to like consider people walking to and from each park. Do they have to have, you know, you can do the same thing where you leave the park, take it into the next one, or do they connect the two somehow so you don't actually have to leave out a gate and go back through the gates? You know what I'm
If I'm
saying?
not mistaken, when they had done it before when I was younger in the other parts, usually where you go in from IOA in the Dr. Seuss area, there's a cut through, like where they have the Grinchmas show in the back, and I think that's how it connected through. So you wouldn't actually have to go out of the park and back into it.
That would be better. If they could do something like that, I could, you know,
I
would
would
make
love to
sense.
see them do it at both parks again, like a little like anniversary or something. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't know how
It's
realistic
definitely
it would
not.
be,
It's definitely
unfortunately.
not. Yeah, it's definitely not leaving studios. Maybe they add that. I feel like they're just gonna. I think in 10 years we'll have 12 houses.
I was just
I
gonna
think
say I
that's
could see
kind of
them at
it.
least adding 2 more houses.
I think that they'll just be using more of the studios, and that's kind of. I mean, they have the sound stages. It's just dependent upon what is filming there at the time. But if it gets to that level where they need it, I think they just block it off and say, "Hey, we're doing 12 houses. We're going to charge an extra $100 for every pass at that point." You know, it's. I think that's the expansion we get. Now, scare zones, I don't know if those will necessarily go up because you're working with the same amount of space. I mean, maybe they do 6, and you have like that little zone where Killer Clowns was as a scare zone. You can
Maybe.
kind of
I don't
throw
know if
like a
I don't
little
know if
mini
the
one there.
scare zones go up, but they definitely have the space to add in 2 more houses in that park.
Mm-hmm.
So in 10 years, we stay in the one park. They add 2 more houses. They definitely have the space to do it. I just, again, I'll say it again. Like I don't think they have. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it sounds to just say, "Hey, here's another, you know, so many houses." Like I think 2 is a big jump.
Yeah.
So definitely maybe 12 houses down the road, but I feel like they've kind of hit a good sweet spot. That's the only thing. I feel. I mean, and granted, out of everybody here listening, and probably and everybody obviously on the podcast, I'm the HHN newbie still. Like I've been going quite a while now, but like this is only going to be my 5th event, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
19,
Yeah.
21, 22, 23. Yeah, this will be my 5th event. So you know, I'm relatively new to it still, but I know I just feel like it's a good sweet spot. I feel like 10's a good number. It gives you just enough to get done in one night. Now you're asking people to like really put more effort into trying to do everything, you know, especially those that can't come for, you know, 4 or 5 nights in a season. They can only do like say a long weekend or something like that. It's harder to try to get through everything and try everything. If you do that. But I do see that, like, you know, beyond just the houses and scare zones, I think the food options are going to are going to continue expanding. We're going to have a lot more food options. I would love to see them at some point down the road try to do more live musical acts. I know that it's, you know, you're kind of hamstrung by the theme. Like horror is it's big, it's vast, but it's also very small too. So if you're talking like live musical acts, it has to be very specific to horror. But I don't think it necessarily has to be either. I think you could find, you know, bands that, you know, tend to play darker music, heavier music, metal music, rock music, hip hop, that sort of thing. That I think you could find a way to maybe incorporate that actual musical stage that they have and do some things that are more themed around the horror holiday.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of where I see it going. Again, it's a very good question, so thank you for it. But there's a lot of different ways that they could expand, and I think that it doesn't have to necessarily just be, you know, adding houses.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump into this next one. Again, it takes forever.
Hey, here, dude. This is Thomas calling. I know you guys probably picked your mind. Voice not really well. I was just walking home from work, and my truck just happened to drive by, and I overhearing myself again. I was like, oh, damn it, man. Like, my
I love your hot takes that you say. I know I guess you say people don't really agree. I agree with you sometimes. I agree 100% with the dueling dragons. I don't know the scare factor for that. I'm hearing a fairy tale. Does not fit, but we shall see. Anyways, hope to run into you guys at the event this year. Been trying to just miss you guys at Fukawa this past few months ago. Literally just missed you guys. So hopefully to run into you guys at the park. Anyways, take care. See you guys in the fall. Bye.
Right. Thomas called back after we,
I was gonna say, he
mostly
called
got his name right
too, right?
Yep. We couldn't. We were pretty sure it was Thomas, and
Yes.
confirmation it was Thomas.
It was Thomas. I
All
knew
right.
it.
You may have to reiterate a little bit. What was he saying about the dueling dragons? Does he agree with me or no?
He agrees with you. I think he doesn't know what the scare factor is going to be.
Oh, okay. So maybe not as in agreement to me. Like obviously, our first caller was very much like no, and I think we're on the same wavelength. I think. Again, I've said before, I'm trying to be open-minded with it. I'm open-minded with everything, so I'm going to give it a chance.
But they like your hot takes.
They do.
Hey, you know what? I got to bring the fire, man. That's kind of my role here.
And I'll bring the ice. I'll be the Blizzrock to your pyro or whatever.
Finroll, fucking Merlin.
Oh man, but yeah, if you see us at the event, we've had a lot of people talk about this leading up to it. I don't know if we'll necessarily do meetups, maybe sometimes, but we're generally pretty good about posting like we are going to the park or we're at the park. So feel free to find us. Feel free to say hi.
Yeah,
we're always.
Maybe we could, we could probably just put it out there before the whole thing starts. Just everybody knows, like we go generally Sunday nights are our night. We're there Sunday nights, pretty much every Sunday night. So if you want to come see us, Sunday's a great time to see all three of us. Generally during the week when it tends to be quote unquote slower. Obviously you don't do Saturdays, but some Fridays for me, I know that you guys generally go more Fridays than I do, but the benefit of living closer to the park than I do.
It really comes down to work schedules.
Yeah.
If I'm working Thursday at 8:30, I might not be going out too late on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But we could maybe do 1 or 2 nights where we actually put it out there and say, hey, Fear and Beer, you're going to do a meetup, pop up, whatever, this night, come find us, say hi.
Yeah. We usually got a little swag on us. Jamie's going to be in charge this year of piecing together little gift bags and goodie bags.
She doesn't want to do it, so
yep, nope, don't want to do it. So she'll be hiding them around and posting them. So I'm sure I'll carry whatever stickers and pins on me, but she will have the goodie bags. That is her.
Yeah, I definitely have. I have one listener who's requested stickers, so we need to make sure we get some stickers with us.
And just so you guys know too, they will be hidden around the park, and you can follow it on the Instagram stories and Twitter. I'll post it on there. But be careful if you guys are hiding stuff around the park too. You can only put it in certain areas. You can't put them in ride queues. Can't put them inside the scare zones and stuff like that. All that kind of good stuff. There's a universally crafted group. I know some people on Twitter are actually familiar with it too, that do a lot of like hiding and rehiding and stuff like that. And all the rules are on there if you guys want to read it too. But I love doing little fun stuff like this. I go to the park sometimes just to look for little treasures. It's fun.
All right, so let's get to our last caller now. Let me sure.
We had 3.
I can get this. Yeah, we had 3 this time.
My name's Kevin. I'd like you guys to know. Hey guys, my name's Kevin. I'd like you guys to know that you're awesome. I listen to you guys in the car, my workplace, basically everywhere.
Aww.
And I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Wishing you the best of luck, and bring on the fear and beer.
Good way to end it.
Wow,
right
people
there.
are so
Bring on
nice.
the fear and beer.
Thanks.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Kevin. Kind of along the same lines of what we just talked about. If you find us at the park, come say hi. We'll have swag on us. We'll have some stickers. I got to order some more stuff, but we got a lot of stickers and pins and buttons and like magnets from like 2 years ago that I still kicking around. But I remember last year I had like a shirt on me in my backpack, and I was like, some dude in line was like, "Hey, Nick, or Fear and Beer." I was like, "Oh fuck!
If
Here,
he
you
ever
want a
listens
t-shirt?"
to it, that guy was so nice. Whoever you were, he was really nice. I was like, "Oh my god, Nick, you're famous. You got recognized." That was before I was on with you guys.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey,
I'm
which
jealous.
shirt
But
size
I've
are you?"
never been recognized. Not yet. I haven't been recognized yet, but
I was like,
no,
"What shirt
seriously. I
size?"
mean, it feels awesome to have people come up to us and be like, "Hey, I
No,
listen to
people are so
your podcast.
nice.
I think
That's
it's
really
great."
cool.
So, I know we're not, we're obviously not celebrities, but it gives us
No,
that
I'm
like
just
that.
joking.
No. But I mean, no. But what I'm trying to get at
It's
is like
fun.
it feels good to like have that small moment of, hey, I don't
So
know
this is
you,
what
but I
it's
listen
like.
to your voice on the radio
Right.
on my computer. It still blows my mind that I have people in other countries that have heard my voice. So that it's just pretty crazy. So
Mhm.
yeah, if you happen to be at the event, definitely come say hi. We'd love to know where you're from. Are you from the area? Are you local? Are you not local? Are you coming in from out of town? Because it's really cool. I think it's really cool because
It is cool.
greatest thing about podcasting is we may be talking about an event that we all love and we put a lot of work and effort into it, but at the same time we're just like you guys, like we really are just we're just crazy enough to talk about it into a microphone once a week,
Yeah.
and go all the time because we live so close to it. But yeah, no, so definitely come say hi. If you see us, come say hi. If you got a t-shirt, wear it, because if we see you wearing our t-shirt, that also we're gonna be like, yeah, let's go. But yeah, so no, definitely, and thank you, thank you for calling in. It's cool to
I
it's cool to have fans that care that much about it.
I didn't think anyone was gonna call when we started
I
this.
didn't
I was
either.
like, no
I
one's
thought that
gonna
it was gonna
call.
be. I thought you were just gonna get a whole bunch of random like
Fuck
rated
you,
rated
Dragon.
triple
guys
X
suck.
calls.
Bye.
Yeah, right. Or like people threatening my life. But hey, it's nice actually having people support us, and it's cool. It really is cool because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when we first started doing this, I was like, this is gonna be like a fun little,
Well, yeah, a little whatever.
diversion or something to look past the lockdown and all that shit. So it was nice to like actually like have it grow and see it grow and have people really like dig it. And not only that, like to meet the people that we've met so far and become friends with a lot of the other creators in the space and creators in the community. We've made some really good friends just through that, and that's really cool too. And not only that, to see us inspiring new content creators and having new people
Mhm.
kind of start their own thing and tell us that, hey, you guys have been a big inspiration for us to want to do it. So I think that's really cool too. So definitely, we'll definitely do some sort of meetup with you guys. We'll let you know ahead of time, what nights we're going to be there, but definitely come find us for sure.
I am. All right. Well, if you guys want to call in and then leave us a little message, it is 689-244-0956. We will listen to all of them that are playable. And thankfully, we haven't got any non-playable ones yet. But we will listen, we will comment, and we'll talk to you. Before we get out, let's talk about the horror movie of the week. Did you guys watch anything? Because I watched something pretty
I
interesting.
did.
I tried to watch Chucky. I really did. I gave it 2 episodes and I gave up.
Oh, you gotta
So,
keep.
not
You gotta
feeling it?
keep going.
I
I
can't.
know it's a slow start. It's a slow start.
I can't get past the children characters in it. I don't know what it is about it. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe I'll just force myself to get through it, but I don't know. I tried. I tried so hard. I was like,
You tried at least. That's all that
ugh.
matters.
Jamie, what'd you watch?
So I watched the remake of the film Suspiria with yeah. Have you seen it,
Phenomenal
Seamus?
movie. I've seen both of them. Love that
Loved
movie.
it. Big fan. Big fan.
Phenomenal
I
movie.
knew you would like it. I was gonna say the new one with Mia Goth, and it was really, really good. I had previously tried to watch the original, and I was doing something around the house that I didn't really pay attention, but I was watching it with my roommate the other day, and I was like, man, I really like this. It was super weird, super creepy. I liked it a lot.
And what's cool about that one is that like most horror remakes,
Mhm.
like they're either one of two things. They're either terrible or they mimicked the original enough to be passable.
Yeah.
That one is actually to the point where like the remake is good for, being the remake, but at the
Mhm.
same time it's also different enough to be almost a different movie. So
Mhm.
it's very like it's like a pseudo remake. Like it's a pseudo remake, pseudo sequel to the first one. And it lives up to that Argento, that Italian horror. Like the original is so very specific theming wise in setting.
It seemed like
And
it from what I'd watched
and it's
from
just the thing I love about Argento films is just they're so colorful. And this one was like we're gonna kind of do our own thing, but at the same time do enough show enough inspiration and call back to the original that I think people that were fans of that one are gonna like this one just as much. I'm trying to think of it's almost like the Evil Dead remake where it wasn't really a remake, but it is. But it's like different enough that like people dug both of them really well. So I agree with you. Great movie.
Yeah, so I went to the movie theaters and I saw The Meg 2, The Trench.
I was getting excited. I was like, "Oh, you're gonna go see like a decent movie."
Boy, oh boy, there were Megs. There's
more.
Whew, it was. Spoiler alert, there's a couple of them. Yeah, this movie was not amazing.
You're ready for two.
Yeah, this was not amazing. It's mainstream Sharknado. It's Jason Statham just punching and fighting and killing megalodons.
Look, man, we get it. You like Jaws, but you just got to stop trying.
I thought it was so fun. It's not a good movie at all. The first one is definitely a lot better. This one, just know what you are, man. Stay in your lane. You're a movie about a giant shark. Don't try and make it anything more.
It feels like that movie would have been like a good theater going experience.
Yeah, I saw it in 3D too.
Oh, even better.
Even
better.
It's like the shark was coming right for me. But yeah, that's what I saw. I mean, it's just a fun, stupid blockbuster. It's whatever. I will not say that it's a good movie, but I had a good time. All right, so before we wrap up real quick, we are running our contest. It is active. You have about a week left to enter. If you are unaware, go to our Instagram, go to our Twitter. We are giving away a 3-house Unmasking the Horror Tour. All you have to do on Instagram or Twitter, you have to follow us, you have to share the post, and you have to tag 3 friends in the comments. We are going to draw the winner, and we are going to announce it on the first episode of our kickoff of our 1 week until HHN Podathon. So that is coming.
The only caveat is you got to hang out with us 3 dorks.
Yeah,
I hope you're prepared for that one.
You are forced to go on the tour with us.
Yes, you have to put up with us.
But it's very fun. We've gotten a lot of good reception from it, but I want to make sure that everyone listening, this is your chance to get a little extra HHN for free. This one's on us. This is just such a great event. It's
a fun tour too. It's a great tour. Joke, so much fun.
It's one of my favorite things that we started doing.
To really dig into the event. If you're an HHN fan, excuse me, but you've always kind of been hesitant to do the tours because you felt like it would ruin the magic for you. It doesn't. It's such an incredible experience, and all the tour guides are wonderful.
Yeah,
and
they are.
The ones we've had know their stuff, and will you don't think that they'll be able to answer some of your big questions that you've had held up deep down. You're like, they're not gonna know the answer to this. They know their stuff. So phenomenal tour, and it's totally worth it. So if you don't win, we would definitely still highly suggest investing in doing at least a 3-house, if not the 6-house.
Yeah. So go to our Instagram, go to our Twitter, enter in, make sure that you do not miss out, because this is a very, very fun thing that we are doing. We're very excited about it, and we are closing in. We are getting down to it soon, that we have to start booking and planning our time for our 1 week until HHN Podathon. If you aren't aware, we did this last year. It was very, very successful, I'd say. Starting on August 25th, we are going to put an episode out every single day until the event starts. So that's 8 days in a row.
Because we don't value our health.
7 days in a row, 8 episodes. So we will have these all out ready for you. So that way, that last week, that home stretch, we got you.
I can feel my blood pressure going up.
We got you covered. We got you. All right. Well, until next time, this is Nick.
This is Seamus.
This is Jamie.
Happy haunts.
It's cursed. It's got a death curse.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare,
And again, I would just
just like to thank Vampire Stepdad for letting us use his music for our intro and outro music. So if you would, just go check him out, Spotify, Facebook. Again, that is Vampire Stepdad.